After the Civil War ended, all the remaining soldiers went home and lived happily ever after. Except that's not exactly true. Some soldiers returned home with symptoms of a rapid pulse, high anxiety levels, and trouble breathing. Some of the other symptoms could have been depression, or insanity, or suicidal thoughts. Now, some primary sources indicate that these soldiers with these symptoms were diagnosed with soldier's heart, nostalgia, or irritable heart. You probably don't hear these terms today, but what kind of modern mental illness term do you think we can associate these phrases with? We can associate them with the term post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD. There was no treatment for these ailments, and many did not know how to take care of those that show these symptoms. Basically, the soldiers were still fighting a war for their lives. Many turned to alcohol and drugs. This led to an opioid epidemic that plagued many soldiers that tried to cure themselves of their symptoms. Other soldiers were admitted into insane asylums. In fact, 291 Civil War veterans were admitted to the Indiana Hospital for the Insane from 1861 to 1919. Here in Connecticut, located in Middletown, we have the Connecticut Valley Hospital, which was founded in 1868, just around when the Civil War ended in 1865. Except at that time, it was called the Connecticut Hospital for the Insane. Individuals were met with physical restraints and punishment rather than being treated for their mental illnesses. Additionally, the mentally ill were often kept in jails and prisons, reinforcing this idea that those with mental illnesses were criminals. Why do you think Civil War veterans with PTSD were admitted into an insane asylum? Drugs, insane asylums, and suicide were apparently the only help soldiers could receive at the time, because the concepts of soldier's heart, nostalgia, and irritable heart were pretty new. The soldiers that survived the war only came home to fight another one alone. So why do you think it is important that we are addressing the impact of war on Civil War soldiers? A retired Connecticut State Army surgeon by the name of Richard Young states that this sort of research is so incredibly important so that we can let the young men and women in our armed forces know that this sort of trauma has been around for many years, that they are not the first to be affected by it, and to place it all in a larger historical context. Our understanding of PTSD has progressed since the Civil War, but people should continue to learn about the history of PTSD in soldiers so that we can support those that return home today.